Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Channeling for the Collective. My name is Allison, and I offer these channelings every single week here on YouTube, where I channel for the collective, and I also choose one of your questions to channel for. And I am just going to let everybody hop on now while I adjust some things. I didn't have this. Usually I have these pre-scheduled, and let's see. Oh, yep. It looks like people are trying to jump on. So I am going to let everybody come on. So if you're watching the replay of this, I'll make sure to add the timestamps because, and it's very bright. Let me see if I can adjust the lighting. I'll put the timestamps in because, hi, Courtney. It looks like everybody's taking a minute to get on. And also, this is the week in the US where we have a time change. Hi, Kennedy. So it might take everybody a minute to jump on. And in the meantime, I'm just going to drink my water. And since we do, hi, Rodka, oh, hello, Stacy. Okay, you just found me. And it looks like people are jumping on now. If you are here, please say hello in the chat. And I'm going to chill out and kind of let everybody settle in for a moment. And as I said, it might take a minute for everyone to get here. But I'm glad you're all here. And yes, I have a little bit of a sniffly nose. And it is because, so I am getting used to, this will be next week, I'll be broadcasting again from a new location. And then after that, a new location. Maybe just get used to it. Maybe I'll just get used to it because it is the beginning. Hello, Floor. It is the beginning of a lot of movement for me, which, to be honest, is pretty normal. But anyway, quick story. Last night, so here where I am, my source of heat is a wood stove. And so I've been getting used to that, which requires getting up in the night and refilling the stove. I don't know what happened, but this morning when I woke up, my door was wide open. And that means that it was very cold in here. So there, I have a little bit of sniffles, but within just a few days, I will be in the warm weather, which I think is just so much easier for me. But I thought that was pretty funny. Those of you who know that this is the same property that my friend Kashel lives on, and Isis also lives here. So I discovered that my front door was opened by Isis coming in. And I thought, how are you in here? How did you get in here? So it's just so funny. I don't know what that was about, but what, those of you who have been around for a minute, you know that I've been, there's been a long journey with my health. And one of the big triggers has always been cold. One of the big triggers for things kind of, having a hard time in my body is cold. And I am experiencing the cold and learning how to acclimate my body, how to feel safe. And it's been so powerful because, again, it's all just stories. It's all just stories kind of gathered in our bodies. And it's been so powerful to be like, oh, that's just a story. So I'm grateful for it being 40 degrees in here this morning because I'm learning so much about just about how I'm always continuously safe. So I'm seeing the chat is just blowing up. I love you guys. Hello. Yes, the clock change. Also here in the US, we sprung forward yesterday. So I was in bed at 9 o'clock. I don't know what time that I fell asleep at 9. I slept a lot. Oh yeah, purging energies, sore throats all around, Courtney. I'm sorry about that. You know what works really well for me is echinacea spray. Almost instantly, it helps me recover if I have a sore throat. So I'll pass that along to you. Spring forward means it's super early when I had to get up for work. Oh, girl, I'm sorry. 5:30 a.m. That's too much. I love the longer days, but my sleep schedule takes a while to adjust. I'm waking up in the night, so you can't tell the difference. You can't feel a difference. Yeah, sending healing vibes. I love that. It is a bit like jet lag. The time change is definitely like jet lag. Oh, I love it. I love how you're all chatting. Okay, well, I'll just kind of mark this. This is where I'll put the timestamp for those of you who are watching the replay. It took a minute for everyone to get on and for me to tell all my stories. And I love that the chat is very active, that you're all connecting with each other. So let me drink a little bit more water. Maybe I need some echinacea spray too. How funny. Just a few days ago, I almost bought some just because I love it so much. It actually, oh, not echinacea spray. Sorry, I said that wrong. Elderberry. Elderberry. Okay, elderberry. That is the spray. Echinacea works great. If you can find a combo of the two, I'm sure that'd be great. But elderberry spray works amazing. Works amazing. All right, my love. So, oh man, checking in. How are you all energetically? I know that for me, the past week has been a lot in learning to stabilize throughout energy shifts and lots of events being planned. I'm really excited after that announcement, that request last week. I'm so sorry, you guys. After that request last week, where my guides brought through what to say, it's interesting. People who don't watch this live stream, just, it was really just the act of apparently me needing to voice it because the book tour is just flowing again. So many events. It looks like I'm going to be on the road for a minute, and I'm really excited about it. So that's announcement number one. I don't have, most of these events are not firm yet, so I don't have them up on my website, but definitely check back because I will be doing the West Coast portion. Maybe I need some hot water. I'll wait. I think I'm okay. The West Coast of the US portion will be this spring. The East Coast will be in the fall. And I was thinking yesterday, oh, wow, I'm going to be in the East Coast states during election time, which is going to be a bit intense. How interesting for me. Yes, well, I will be doing the live channeling during my tour. I will be every single Monday. I'm committed. I'm here for you guys. And this is a really fun part of my week. I love the connection. I love the check-in. And so, yeah, this feels really good. This will be continuous. Most events are midweek or weekend. So I can't think of any exceptions. Most places that's how those events go. So, let's see. Oh, so announcement number one, book tour is happening. It's if you would like me to come to your city, I am doing my best with those of you who have already talked to me, and lots more is getting set up. So the process is a little bit different post-COVID. But yes, I'm open to more suggestions, more locations, and we'll just see how it all unfolds. The purpose is for me to hug everyone, so that should be pretty easy. Other than that, the details can fill in as they go. All right, let's see. Announcement number 2 is I have a community. It's called the True Creator Community. And now let's go ahead. If you have a question, please type it into the chat. Type Q at the beginning of it so that I know that question for me to channel on. I will choose one of those questions with random number generator and channel on it for all of you. And again, I'm feeling like always the lighting is so funny. I am getting a new laptop that should be here tomorrow, so that helps. The one that I have is a little bit rigged up, so the lighting always changes. All right. Yeah, so let's see, Radka, my energy has changed super fast over the course of the days. Overall, super high and great vibes, but sometimes unexplainable lows. But learned to get back to being stable and feeling good within hours. That really feels like the theme. And in fact, in fact, I was talking to a friend yesterday and realizing that, not only what I'm learning, but what I also feel is going to be the most helpful to offer during my book tour is how to stabilize, because she's like, oh, I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that. I said, well, here's a list of why that might be coming up for you. And, and it's not going to be slowing down. In fact, it's going to be amping up. So how do we regulate ourselves through all of these shifts? How do we land at home always within ourselves, forgive ourselves for the wild, shifts that we're going through and the emotionality that can cause, and learn to stabilize. So I will be teaching some of those techniques as well. Your little puppy, Allison. Say hi. Everyone say hi to Flora's puppies. I love that. She probably wants to get warm. That would be true to form. I'm like, me too. All right, my loves. So I'm seeing a few questions in the chat. Let me see. What are some other? Oh, I have the private community. It's called the True Creator Community. And once a month, we gather together. I do this as a live Zoom call, and I answer your questions directly. The link will be in the description box after this call if you want to join. And I am still centering in on what the theme for April will be. Still listening in. I have a good idea, but each month has a different theme. And for March, the theme was abundance and prosperity. And I have to say, the channeling, tell them about channeling. Oh, okay, I will. I'll tell that. Thank you, Stacy. So the theme this month was abundance and prosperity. And I have to say, this channeling was it just felt so good. There was such powerful information. I'm going to take at least one snippet from that channeling and put it here on my YouTube channel so that you can get a glimpse as to what comes through in these channelings. But if you would like to join, you get to watch the replays from all the previous months. Plus, you get to be part of the next live channeling, and I would love that. Okay. Oh, hi, Rose. All right. So I see 3 questions. And then announcement number, I don't know, is this 3 or 4, Stacy? But we also I have a community within the community, which is the channeling practice community. Now, I teach channeling. If you are curious and you would like to learn, the link for that, again, will be in the description box below this video. And if you have already taken that course and you would like to practice, there is a membership group within my membership group where we practice twice a month. And Stacy is saying, tell them about channeling. So Stacy's part of that group. I know that she wants more people in there to practice with, because this is where twice a month I connect into this group and I guide you into a channeled space and then go through any questions that you may have, any insights that you've come up with that you're maybe wanting to know more about. And yeah, we'll look into that. So it's this Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate you. Yes, yes. Oh, I would love that. I would love if you would join, Radka. That'd be great. Oh, and thank you for the invite to the Czech Republic. I will definitely, it will likely be next year, because this year is very planned out, but I'm open to things shifting and changing, and who knows. But next year, I definitely do have plans, and I will keep them open. I think I shared this with all of you about 2 months ago. I got a download to go to Japan. And so there are a lot of, to share with you a big part of my purpose. And I know that many people are being activated into this specific purpose right now. But a big part of my purpose is to go to different locations. And because I'm a star seed with a specific frequency, I go to different locations and I integrate my frequency into the land there. So I'm a Stargate. And so I'm called to different locations to create these energy activations. And I have to say, I love that that's a part of my purpose, because it is also very, very comfortable. If you've stuck around here for even 5 minutes, it's very comfortable and very fun for me to be in different locations. So I do have a lot of butterfly energy. I land and then I float, and then I land, and then I float. I land to drink the nectar and then fly to the next location. So yes, I would love to come visit you. All right, my loves, do I have any other announcements? I think that might be it. So yeah. Oh, hi, Elizabeth. So good to see you. See you, right? Yeah, it is. It's a really fun part of my purpose. Um, and it also really helps me regulate my energy. It's very interesting. For a lot of people, travel can be a little bit destabilizing, which makes a lot of sense. And it is for me too, in some ways. But in other ways, it's actually very stabilizing. It is a constant reattunement to the truth of who I am when I'm in new locations, because the common denominator is me. And so it actually is very stabilizing for me. And letting it be physically stabilizing has been part of my growth process. All right, I've talked enough, my loves. Let's go ahead and go into the channeling. So I see 1, 2, 3 questions. Yes, yes. Radka, I love it. Visiting different locations, following your intuition. It's so good to do. Even if it's a personal pilgrimage, even if it's something, and I've shared with you all my friend Julia. I actually have a YouTube video that I just put up from an interview that I did with Julia. And a huge part of her purpose is to create pilgrimages for other people. So, you might want to, if you feel like you want to go places, but maybe you want a guide, she's someone that I feel is really, really good with that. So is Helia, who you all know from way back when. You're probably working with her. There are several people in my field who I feel are really good guides for taking you places. If you feel the call, but you don't necessarily want to venture out alone. Which leads me to the final announcement. True Creator Summer Camp. It's going to be here in Arkansas this summer in August. So I would love to see you there. Again, information is in the description box. Okay. Random number generator, not my text messages. So between 1 and 3, let me pull that up. Question number 2. I also want to say, I know I'm very talkative and it's one directional, so I tend to get self-conscious about that. But thank you infinitely to those of you who have offered for me to stay at your house, for those of you who have suggested places for me to do events. I just want to give you a big thank you because, wow, it has been so much support. I have received so much support, continue to receive it. I am so grateful for it. And I just really want to voice a thank you. So thank you. All right. Question number 2. Who that be? Rose, it's you, my love. All right. The question is, what do I need to know about myself right now? A recent dream I had was another woman driving. Love those dreams when you're like, oh, I get it. It was scary, but we were safe. I thought she's a good driver. It felt like my higher self. Wow, I love that. What do I need to know about myself right now? Okay, my loves. I keep messing with this mic. I just want to make sure that you all can hear me pretty well. I'll move that over here. It always looks a little intrusive. Okay, so I'm going to move that. All right. So as you all know, if you've tuned in before, I'm going to tune into I'm going to tune into this individual question. And thank you, Courtney. Thank you. I'm going to tune into the individual question first and then the collective. So stick around to the end because I go into the collective there at the end. And it is so fascinating how even the personal questions so deeply inform the collective. So it's really, really beautiful. It all comes together and you will likely find something really powerful for yourself in even the personal channeling. All right. Okay, my loves. Just taking me a moment to tune in here, tuning into the energies of the collective, tuning into this question to bring forth the information for the highest service of all. Beautiful. Okay. So in answer to this question, which is a pretty open question, what do I need to know about myself right now? And the tuning into the dream where it felt like it was your higher self really driving. As many of us know, we are our higher selves. Truly, our higher selves are the actualized aspect of this human experience of ourselves. What that means is that if we could tune in to infinite love and the truth of who we are, our infinite truth in all moments, which is so funny to try and put language to infinite. Because our language is built around the concept of time. Our language is built around the paradigms that we perceive, which includes time. In fact, time is a huge part of it. So if we can tune into, and in fact, in any moment that we can tune into our infinite nature, which is tuning into the highest version of ourselves, That is our higher selves. It's not something apart from us. It is who we are. And so we embody our higher selves sort of off and on. And the truth is that our higher selves are embodying us at all times. So our higher selves is ourselves on the highest frequency of our personal, this human lifetime existence. And then to bring a little bit more clarity to how all of this works, our oversoul is the aspect of ourselves which is streaming this current lifetime and our other lifetimes as well. It is the part, it is the higher, it's sort of the umbrella of ourselves that has decided to stream the frequency of human or star personality or incarnation into different locations and different places within this time space continuum that we are operating within. So everything is concurrent from the oversoul perspective. The higher self is ourselves as this embodiment in our highest frequency truth, in who we truly are. And so, what we are learning to do is to stabilize and embody, be conscious of this higher self aspect. That's going to beep a few more times. I just want to be able to cut that out. It is our higher self that we are learning to be conscious of in all moments. And as we are consciously embodying this higher self, the higher self is always the truth of who we are, but it's our consciousness that takes us in and out of that. So it's not separate from that, so from us. It is us when we are consciously connecting and being our highest frequency, which is when we talk about our human blueprint, we choose, and I've briefly mentioned timelines aren't real, but it's something that we operate with. So I'm not going to say it's not real because time is also not real, but we operate within a certain paradigm structure. That being said, when we are conscious and embodying the higher frequency of us, we are living our highest potential, which is what our blueprint is built on. Our divine template is built on our higher self truth. And essentially, what this means is when we are choosing fear, when we are choosing away from presence, anything that is apart from presence is us sort of choosing outside of our blueprint. And this isn't something to be scared of. It's something to witness because in witnessing, we come into love, we come into presence. So we are really, really amping up collectively in frequency. And what that means is we're becoming more sensitive and more highly aware of when we are outside of our true frequency. And when we are making these micro choices or even meeting divine choice points from the perception of fear, we are simply taking a little bit of, we're elongating time and we are learning. And because there is no right and wrong, it's all a spectrum of colors. When we choose outside of love, what we're really doing is gathering this whole spectrum of colors to paint with. So in This is so interesting because choosing outside of our divine template, it actually works in our benefit. This is so interesting. I really want to follow this thread, so I'm going to keep diving in. Choosing apart from love is almost oh, this makes me so emotional. It's almost the whole reason that we came here. It's so interesting to view it from that perspective. And talk about ultimate forgiveness, because there's nothing to forgive, because even when we choose fear, it's actually part of what we came here to do. Because when we do that, we are gathering so much color. And honestly, we can't choose outside of our template. In fact, our oversoul is its divine template. And because it's in a frequency realm that doesn't operate with what we call time, which is choice points, there isn't this beautiful opportunity to gather without sending out fragments into these denser realities. I could weep right now. This is so beautiful. I'm trying to hold it together to transmit this. We can't have the experience of gathering all of this palette of color without choosing outside of our blueprint. And in fact, the very act of being born and coming into these denser layers, I'm so emotional of this. It actually, we made the agreement that we were going to choose away from love. It's just fascinating. It's just fascinating. It's part of the whole landscape that we're playing within. And in order to make these choices, and now I'm linking this back into something that came through that I put in my book. In order to make these choices outside of love, we have to be somewhat unconscious. We have to have the filters that create fear and separation. We have to have those. We wanted these experiences. Oh, this is so powerful. We wanted that. And so now I'm curious, and I'll go back to your question, Rose, but now I'm curious. So now what? So now why would we choose what we prefer? Well, because part of what we're experiencing is to learn how to choose what we prefer and why love is everything. We're learning why love is everything. Oh, man, this is so much for me to hear and witness right now. We actually want to know why love is everything. This is literally the beginning of my first book, and it's like a deeper layer of understanding for me right now. Because even in the moments where we're painting outside of the lines and we are choosing from fear, because we have these filters teach us that we're separate, because it's part of the game. And inevitably, we're stumbling along in the dark, and we're just going to stumble, and we're going to bump into each other, and we're going to bump into things, and we're going to act outside of our blueprint. But we wanted it that way so that we could see that everything is love. We wanted to experience the density of separation and still know everything as love. And part of that, learning that everything is love, is to have the experience of self-forgiveness, which is forgiveness is simply coming back into the present moment, which is infinite love, and witnessing that nothing has ever been wrong. It is my prayer that what came through is deeply held and understood by all of you. That even in the moments where we are choosing from fear, where we're choosing outside of our divine template. Even in those moments, we are chosen, we are perfect. And we wrote that into our divine contracts, essentially, that we would be doing that. So for those of you who are like me, who are stumbling along the paradigm of perfectionism, I hope that that heals your heart as much as it's healing mine. Wow. Ah, it's hard for me to not just cry and cry and cry right now. That was so beautiful and so helpful to hear. Ah, okay. And it was a little bit off. How apropos. It was a little bit off of the original question, but it was so necessary to bring through. Because the truth is that it's all included, that we can't actually choose wrong. It's all included in the divine model of perfection. And we're learning because we feel so viscerally when we choose away from love. It hurts us. It hurts us physically. It hurts our bodies. It makes us sick. It separates us from each other, which we want to come together with each other because that is an act of divine love, friendship, connection, community. All of these things are us coming closer and closer to the truth of oneness. And so we want those things. And when we choose fear, it separates us from those things. And we feel it. We feel it with mental anguish and with physical pain. And these are all teaching us that, oh, I really want to play in love. And so it's simply because we are becoming more and more sensitive. As the frequencies rise, we come out of the illusion of separation, which makes us highly sensitive to the areas where we have been creating separation within ourselves and from each other and from the world, from the planet. This planet has taken on such a beautiful thing of assisting us in transmuting our karmic debt, allowing us to see that any sort of separation, we perceive it as hurt to the planet. But the planet is so capable. The planet is so capable. And yes, it does hurt the planet, but the planet is so capable and has taken on this divine mother role of allowing us to experience separation, even from her, even from the planet, and to play in this playground of density, to witness what happens when we create that separation and ultimate forgiveness, because there's no harm truly ever. It's simply all learning more colors and then bringing those colors together. So, to bring it full circle, Rose, back to your question, the main thing is to know that you are not separate from your higher self. And thank you for asking this question so that we could all receive that transmission. You are not separate from your higher self. And the more that you can allow yourself to be conscious. Now, the reason that we feel separate from our higher selves is because we still have a desire to not be God. It's a lot of responsibility. And hopefully the transmission that just came through will help all of us in seeing that it's the joy in the responsibility. It's not, oh, you're messing up again. It's the joy and the responsibility of coming into, we are God. We are the God of our landscape. We are the God of our personal world, which interacts and is a part of every other world with every other being, because we are not inherently separate. We are simply a lens. We are simply a spark of the all. We're a series of choice points. And so feeling into unifying with the higher self is recognizing that sometimes we are unconscious so that we can have experiences which are edifying to us. And there is no ability for us to make mistakes, truly, in the larger. And sometimes we need to really zoom out to see how large that picture is. Because in the larger picture, there is no ability to mess up, because that is part of the polarity um, game that we're experiencing that doesn't exist in higher frequencies. In fact, we are in awe. We are so excited by the ability to do something that is uh, against ourselves. It's kind of wild to look at from this perspective. But coming into, I'm not afraid to be fully me, to be fully me. That is what's going to guide bringing ourselves into our higher self capacity. And I can't make a mistake. And I witness my preferences. I witness that when I do this thing, it doesn't feel good, and I want to feel good. I witness that when I become more sensitive, it's for the purpose of showing me where I've created separation. And that separation desires to unify in higher frequencies. It is unity consciousness in higher frequencies, because we don't have the illusion of separation. And so, anywhere in any part of our lives where we have separated, even the act of separating ourselves from our God self, from the truth that we are the creators, even that separation desires to unify. And so we wake up and we become more in love with the truth of who we are, which is that we are one, that we are one lens. And of course, I want to share this one lens with you all. Of course, I want to share this lens with you, especially when I feel good. I want to share this lens with you. And we are learning how to embody our higher selves right now, which is why this question really came up, because this is something that the collective is experiencing. So, unify with your higher self by witnessing that you have never made any mistakes, forgiving deeply, and being in the presence of love with yourself, and witnessing that you're the driver and the passenger. And it's all in one. And what a fun game. Practicing self-forgiveness. This is coming up, and I'm going to go ahead and move into the collective, although that was very much for the collective as well. Self-forgiveness is really present. And it's going to, depending on where we are on the spectrum of separation from ourselves, like if we are so separate from ourselves that we really are deep in enemy consciousness or binary thinking, polarized thinking, there's a right person and a wrong person. If we're deep in that paradigm, then the self-forgiveness is going to come in, because we're going to be feeling, okay. Where this comes in is we start to disembody our power, right? So the denser the layers of reality, the more that we believe in separation. And when we are believing in separation more and more and more, that means that our power always exists outside of ourselves. When we're unified, when we're in unity consciousness, our power, it isn't something we're afraid of, because it's not power over anything else. It's simply the power of God streaming through us, of our God selves, of source, of unity, of all of us are gods, and experiencing different layers of consciousness. That's it. So, where are we on this spectrum? Are we deep in the belief that something outside of us is responsible for our happiness, our safety, our power, anything of that nature? And if we really deeply believe in that, then we're going to be witnessing a lot of anger. Um, but anger comes up when we're actually coming into unity. That's really interesting. So notice this throughout. The need for self-forgiveness is coming up because we're sobering up. And as we sober up, we witness where we've been out of alignment with ourselves. So self-forgiveness is a big one. And self-forgiveness may look like forgiving others if we are still in the belief that there is an other, if that makes sense. So if we are really disembodying our power, forgiving our parents, forgiving political figures, forgiving our friends, things like that, working on that. In fact, forgiveness might not even be coming up if it's deep in that paradigm, because when we're deep in that paradigm, forgiveness means that I lose more power, but that's not actually what forgiveness is. A lot of people don't want to forgive because they feel that forgiveness means that the person could do something to me again. But really, forgiveness is reclaiming our power. It's never been another person's responsibility to make me feel whole in any way. And so ultimate forgiveness is an extension of self-forgiveness. I have been out of alignment, right? So if we're deep in the paradigms of separation, forgiveness isn't an option. It doesn't feel like an option because it feels like an invitation for someone to hurt us again. When really, forgiveness is coming into alignment with ourselves, that we have been externalizing our power, and then we come back into our true power. What else is a theme this week? Okay, I'm seeing a swirling. I'm seeing like this, almost like a hurricane up here. What's happening there? Portals opening. Oh my God. No wonder I'm called to talk on forgiveness and stabilization and unification with our higher selves. No wonder. Massive portals opening to higher frequency realms where we won't experience ourselves as ourselves. We won't have as much of an identity. And there's a struggle. This is another layer. Ego death occurs because it feels like death when we go into unity consciousness, because we start to the belief of us being separate. There's so much built on top of that separation paradigm that needs to fall apart. And it inherently falls apart as we raise our frequency. So, wow, I'm just seeing like a massive portal in the sky is what it looks like. And portals look like timelines because timelines are spirals from what I've seen. They're not lines. They are frequency experiences that tend to spiral upward as we learn. And then we join another spiral. So it's almost more like a landscape with spirals, or a multidimensional cube with spirals and portals within it. So this portal in the sky that I'm seeing has to do with light codes coming to the planet. It's going to be very disruptive to the physical planes, to the mental planes. Mm-mm. Not specifically the physical planes as in earth changes, but it's going to be very disruptive to the mental planes, which is what creates. So stay focused on the light. Always stay focused on the light. Bring in forgiveness. Forgiveness is to move into the present moment. That's what forgiveness is. So be within forgiveness in the present moment, because there are going to be outbursts, because the emotional sphere, it's sort of like the Wicked Witch, where she's like, I'm melting, I'm melting. It's sort of like that within the emotional landscape of humanity. And this is for several months. I'm seeing this. In fact, there's a big collective moving through this right now, but then another big collective is going to move through this. And then another big collective is going to move through this. So those of you who are hearing my words, you tend to be in this collective that is moving through the emotional landscape and breaking down a lot of things that keep us separate. So because we're human, we're going to feel it in our own experience. And self-forgiveness is key, because it aligns us with the present moment. I mean, there's so many movie motifs that are coming up with this right now. It's like, my precious, that one's coming through as well. Sort of this holding on to the known pain instead of going into the unknown territory of these higher frequencies of light, which again, remember, we do know it. We just have not in this moment experienced it, although we have. And I know that I'm saying a lot of things that seem to contradict. It's very interesting to translate something that doesn't exist in time into our current perception. So self-forgiveness, self-care, lots of self-care. And some of you are going to be flying high. Some of you are going to be, and don't beat up on yourself if you're not. We're all doing an amazing job, as we just heard. We're all perfect. Some are going to be in absolute ecstasy with these energies. It does feel like movement through the portal, which those of us who have experienced that, when we go through, what I'm hearing is genetic upgrades. When we go through that, a lot of times it can be destabilizing. We can have physical symptoms that seem negative or unpreferred, right? So try not to attach to any of those things. We're moving through things. And the more that we focus on these exalted states of light, of who we truly are, of who everyone truly is. And in that, ultimate forgiveness in the moment, because we're like, oh, hey, we were all playing a game. I see you. I see you. Hi, my friends. When we do that, then we're in the present moment. Okay. So know that we may be getting physical symptoms. We may be getting dizziness. It literally just looks like a huge, spiral, like a spiral in the sky. It's so fascinating. Lots of ET contact, which is our star family, which is, at times, it's really us on a different frequency within a different dimension, within a different dimensional landscape. So reuniting with that aspect of ourselves, which is interdimensional beings, that contact is going to continue. It's just so open. It is just so open. And again, it's coming through. Ask to connect with them in your dreams if it feels too unbelievable to connect with these beings in daylight or whatever it is. Um, it's purely adjusting our frequency. Let me see if there's anything else that comes through. Have fun, play. Don't take any of it seriously. We can completely heal and shift through love. None of it needs to be through pain, although, of course, we can do that and there's nothing wrong with it. It's simply a vibrational choice, and experiencing the pain is quite possibly something that you are choosing unconsciously for a reason. And it's all good. It's all good. I'm going to go ahead and come out. Thank you. I'm like, do I have mascara all over my face from all the tears? Oh, my loves. Wow, that was so divine for me. How is that for all of you? There's beeping where you are too. That's so funny. Oh, I love the chatting. Okay, I might be missing some things that aren't chatting, but I love that you guys are all connecting with each other. I'm glad that this was resonating. Self-forgiveness. Uh-huh. Yes. Tasmanian devil. Oh, Kennedy, I saw a swirl portal today in my cacao ritual and have felt as if I've shifted. I've been going deeper into forgiveness as well. So, so beautiful. Yes, also a cacao lover. Yes, I love it. I learned to ignore physical symptoms. Yes, dizziness, headaches. I know it all so well. I find this period so exciting. I love feeling your excitement, Radka. Somehow switch and play with it. Yes, already living in the new reality. That's absolutely it. I saw in my Google feed this morning a beautiful spiral of light in the sky from someone watching the Northern Lights. I'll send it to you. Please do. Oh, thank you. We'll need some time to process. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I'm going to go ahead. It is 1 o'clock, 100% on my charger, 11 people tuning in, one thumbs up. There's a lot of beginning energy here. So I'm going to go ahead and go play outside for a little bit. So I love you all. Thank you for being here. And I will see you next Monday, if not before. And if you are part of the channeling practice community, I will see you on Wednesday. All right. Bye, my loves.